July 28th, 2023. One of my all-time favorite days because after years and years, the Miraculous musical, now known as Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir the movie, finally made it to our screens. Today is July 28th, 2024, meaning the movie came out exactly a year ago today, which is absolutely crazy. It feels like it just came out yesterday. Anyway, in honor of that, I wanted to come back to the whole Miraculous movie universe. The first movie was a retelling of the origins of Ladybug and Cat Noir, and it talked a lot about having courage, finding your true self, and accepting yourself for who you are. And also finding strength within all of that, and also growing that strength within the people that you meet, which is one of my favorite aspects of this movie. I loved the theme and I loved the messaging. And overall, the movie followed the show's story pretty closely, but I think it's safe to say that the second one won't. And by that, I mean, the second one will probably still follow the Miraculous story, but obviously the first movie followed seasons 1 through 5, but I don't think that the second movie will follow season 6 and up. Instead, I think it will start to have its own story while still taking elements of the first 5 seasons and maybe some elements of seasons past 5. And here's why. At the end of season 5, Gabriel made a wish which brought Natalie back, and both he and Emily died. Of course, that still doesn't mean everything is sunshine and rainbows, as Lila got a hold of the Butterfly Miraculous before Ladybug did. And the end of the movie was a lot like that too. And by that, I mean Ladybug defeated Gabriel, and that's just about where the similarities end. 1. Gabriel didn't get a hold of Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculous, meaning no wish. 2. The Butterfly Miraculous was given back to Master Fu. And 3. Gabriel's still alive and Emily is still in the basement. Not to mention, characters like Lila don't even exist yet, if at all, so there's no way the second movie will follow what happens past season 5. So I definitely believe that the second movie really splits off into its own story, which brings us to the question, what is that story? Well, of course, we don't really know anything about the second movie, but we do have some clues based off of what happened at the end of the first. Natalie goes into the basement where one Emily Agreste is laying. Now, there's 2 very important things about this. 1, throughout the movie, Natalie was never seen working alongside Gabriel. Well, she was, obviously she's his assistant, but I just mean in a supervillain kind of way. And I mean, we've seen the show, so we're fully aware that she's in on everything, but if this was your first time ever seeing anything about Miraculous, you wouldn't know she knew anything. Throughout the movie, she's just his assistant, and they most definitely did that on purpose because we aren't supposed to know anything about her yet. She's meant to be the mystery to be discovered later. And second, Emily has the Peacock Miraculous around her neck. Obviously, the show is done with the Agreste arc, but the movie universe is certainly nowhere near done with it, but Hawkmoth is no longer a thing, meaning that a new Miraculous and villain will come to rise. Do y'all see what I'm getting at? I truly believe that this movie is going to be the Mayura/Senti arc, which I'm so extremely happy about. I have missed Mayura so much, and I'm pretty sure we'll never get to see her again in the show, which makes me so excited for this movie. It's like so much stuff that we never thought we'd get to experience again, we get to with these movies. I love it. Now here's where we get to the why. Why would they turn into villains again after everything that happened at the end of the movie? I mean, with how well everything went, wouldn't they not be the bad guys anymore? I mean, Gabriel has clearly decided to let go being the villain, let go of Emily, and just be there for his son. So why would they even turn evil again? Well, I think the reason has a lot to do with things that happened in season 5. Obviously, like I said, this movie takes on its own story, but I can't help but feel that it has a lot of the same elements of season 5, specifically with the health of Gabriel and Natalie. This is something I've already talked about in a video I made a while ago, but I kind of wanted to just bring it up again. But I truly feel that Gabriel will start to succumb to the effects of using the Miraculous for evil. The Miraculous aren't meant to be used for bad purposes. Over time, we saw Gabriel become more and more disheveled and corrupted in the same way that Show Gabriel started to become more inhumane, insane, and disassociated with reality. Of course, Gabriel got cataclysmed by Cat Noir, which is what led to his almost death, but I can't help but believe that the same fate would have fallen on him even if he hadn't have been cataclysmed. I think using a Miraculous for evil has the same effects as using a broken Miraculous. And I think the same story goes for the movie as well. He used the Miraculous for evil, and the consequences will still find their way to him. Ladybug may have let him off the hook, but the universe won't. I believe that in the second movie, Gabriel's health will start to deteriorate in the way that it was deteriorating after he had been cataclysmed in the show, which leaves Natalie wanting to help him, and she does that by getting and using the Peacock Miraculous, which of course gives us Mayura. But obviously, the Miraculous is broken, so yeah, we all kind of know how that goes down. So anyway, kind of my point in this is I think the decline of Gabriel's health is what turns them into the villains again, and then maybe they get a little bit more evil and more frantic after Natalie's health starts to go down the drain, which could potentially mean we get to see some kind of wish like we did in season 5. I also think there's going to be a lot of elements from the show within this movie. Like, I could totally see other heroes making an appearance, and maybe even some new characters like Kagami or Felix. Oh my gosh, please let there be Kagami and Felix. Anyway, now of course, you know, I couldn't end this video without talking about this. I'm sure you guys all saw it coming, but I believe a huge aspect of this movie will be about Adrien being a Senti. We know Emily died a few years after Adrien was born within the first movie, but it never really explained why. And the reason why I think they didn't explain it was because we hadn't gotten on to the whole Peacock Miraculous arc yet. We hadn't learned about it, we don't know what it does, so they couldn't really bring up the fact that Adrien is a Senti and Emily died because of that yet. So if this movie is talking about Peacock Miraculous and Mayura, I mean, why wouldn't they bring up the fact that he's a Senti? And yes, I'm aware that a lot of people don't want Adrien to be a Senti in the movie universe, but it's just such a crucial part of why Gabriel became Hawkmoth that I don't think there's a universe where he isn't a Senti. Anyway, that is all I wanted to talk about. I am so excited for this movie and I can't wait until it makes it to our screens. Also, happy 1-year anniversary to the Miraculous movie. Now if you'll excuse me, I am going to go rewatch it and listen to the soundtrack.